Nightmare Radio, released in the year 2023, is a film that plunges into the universe of psychological suspense and horror, delivering an intense and claustrophobic experience to the audience. Under the direction of Bryce Matthewson, the narrative unfolds in a dark and unsettling environment where the radio, a classic means of communication, transforms into a portal to fear and paranoia. From the very first minutes, the film establishes a steadily increasing tension, using the sound atmosphere as one of its main narrative elements. The use of ambient sound and a minimalist soundtrack creates a sense of isolation and vulnerability that immediately captivates the viewer. The mix of static noises, whispers, and distorted voices makes the very audio a threatening character within the story. This choice is no coincidence. Sound has always been a powerful element in horror, awakening primal fears in the audience. Who has never felt a chill from an unexplained noise in the middle of the night? The plot revolves around Gertie, a lonely radio host who runs a nighttime show focused on listener stories. Played masterfully by Julia Neiman, her performance gives the protagonist a mix of strength and vulnerability, making her journey emotionally impactful. As the story progresses, Gertie receives calls from a mysterious listener who, instead of sharing stories, begins making disturbing statements about her life, predicting events that have not yet happened. The script, written by Jean-Luc Marchand, skillfully creates a psychological game between the radio host and the invisible threat haunting her. But what makes this story even more intriguing is how the film plays with our sense of reality. Is Gertie truly being haunted by a malevolent presence? Or is it all just a hallucination fueled by exhaustion, loneliness, and the isolation of her job? The film never provides an easy answer, keeping the audience constantly in doubt. One of the Siluas' most striking aspects of the film is its cinematography. The way the camera frames Gertie within the small radio studio reinforces the sense of confinement, exploring shadows and tight angles to intensify the claustrophobia of the setting. The dark cinematography, with cold tones and limited lighting, contributes to the atmosphere of isolation, reminiscent of genre classics such as The Thing and The Birds. The film's editing is precise, maintaining a rhythm that balances moments of agonizing silence with bursts of tension. The director makes intelligent use of quick cuts and subtle fades to create transitions that heighten the sense of unease. Additionally, the way the dialogues are structured allows the audience to become emotionally involved with Gertie, feeling her anguish and despair as the plot unfolds. The sound design is simply impeccable. The film uses the absence of sound just as effectively as moments of noise, making silence a powerful narrative tool. This aspect is reminiscent of the work of directors like David Lynch, where sound becomes an extension of fear rather than just a complement to the visuals. But if sound is a key element, another aspect we cannot ignore is Gertie's relationship with her listeners. Throughout the film, we see how her voice is her only real connection to the outside world. She clings to this interaction, but as the story progresses, it becomes evident that this connection might be a trap. Who is on the other end of the line? Who is really listening? The psychological construction of the protagonist is one of the film's greatest strengths. Gertie starts off as a confident, professional woman accustomed to her work. But as the mysterious calls intensify, we see her sanity unraveling. Small details, such as her heavy breathing and paranoid glances at the studio glass, are subtle clues that something is very wrong. And when we reach the third act, the line between reality and illusion completely dissolves. However, while the film shines in its technical execution, some aspects may divide audiences. The open ending, for example, may frustrate those who prefer more concrete resolutions. However, for fans of more psychological and subjective horror, this conclusion works as an extension of the very nightmare the film proposes. Another aspect that may generate mixed opinions is the pacing. At certain moments, the narrative slows down excessively, prolonging sequences that could have been more concise. While effective for building tension, This technique might test the patience of viewers less familiar with this cinematic style. That being said, Nightmare Radio stands out as a work that understands the essence of atmospheric horror. Its intelligent use of sound, combined with confident direction and a powerful central performance, makes it a memorable film within the genre. For those who appreciate more sensory and psychological horror, this is an experience well worth having. So, would you have the courage to listen to this radio show until the end? Hold on to that curiosity, because there's still much more to analyze about this intriguing work. Stay with me as we dive deeper into the sonic horror of Nightmare Radio. And that's a wrap. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit that like button, share with your friends, and subscribe to Minute Recaps for more fascinating stories and in-depth analyses. Turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the unknown.